Remember the movie I, Robot? Set in the future, Will Smith had to defeat those robots that we created to help us from taking over the world. For car fans though, the movie was also a real standout, a glimpse into the future of Audi. And luckily for you and I, that future became a reality. It's pretty clear that I was a big fan of the first generation Audi R8. In particular, I loved that manual transmission. Sadly, it is no more, but neither is that terrible Artronic auto transmission that they had. That's now been replaced by a 7-speed dual clutch S-tronic transmission. Let me tell you, it works so much better. Changes are super smooth. It's actually shift by wire. It feels a bit like you're playing a flippin' TV game, which is just incredible. So the average man in the street is going to really love that. One thing that you're also not going to get is the 4.2 litre V8. That is no more. In fact, the 5.2 litre V10 is the only engine that is available, and it comes in 2 performance models. You obviously get the standard, which is just under 400 kilowatts, which is plenty, and 540 newton meters. That's good for about 3.5 seconds 0 to 100. Or you get the Audi Plus, which bumps that performance up to 449 kilowatts and 560 newton meters of torque, which is just unbelievable. But listen to that. No turbos. Screw the future. Give me the past. This is what makes this car so amazing. High revving, just over 8,000 RPM, and it just unleashes the most amazing roar and bellow and pop. It is incredible. There are a couple of cool little buttons that you can fiddle with on the steering. You've got a drive select, which obviously we come to know with Audi. I can put into my comfort mode, into my sport mode, my various settings. We've got in the Audi Plus that we're in, we've got the magnetic ride, which gives me a sport button. And on that track mode, I can choose the ultimate sport performance, whether it's wet, snow, or dry conditions. And that is another thing that I've loved about the R8 always, is that I've never been a big fan of all-wheel drive or quattro systems, because for me, they always tended to understeer, push the nose wide, especially when you started getting on it from a performance driving perspective. And that for me is what made the R8 originally so special, is that it really felt like the rear was alive. It gave you that dynamic drive and that feel. The Quattro system has been uprated in the second generation R8, and it really is incredible. The level of lateral grip that this car has is just astounding, yet it still gives you the feeling of the rear being alive and twitchy. It's amazing. From a steering perspective as well, you've got 2 options. They've got the electromechanical, or you can go for the dynamic, which then obviously adjusts the steering according to your speed. But I mean, let me tell you, from a steering perspective, your ability to point the car, squirt, get the nose turning where you want it is just fantastic. But it's that soundtrack that I just don't get tired of. It is flippin' incredible. It's got a dry sump, so that allows him to drop the engine a lot lower, and that gives it that fantastic weight distribution, which is what you want in a performance car. But I suppose from an everyday ownership perspective, something that has improved big time is the quality of the interior. The old R8 was a little bit disappointing, you know. You kind of thought you were just in a standard TT until you put your foot down. The interior was the same, but they've really done a fantastic job uprating the interior on the new R8. It is a beautiful cockpit to be in. Talking about cockpit, it's also got virtual cockpit that we loved when we drove it in the TT. This is the future for Audi, and it allows you to keep your hands on the wheel and monitor all of your settings, all of your adjustments. You can play with your TFT screen, put up all the important things, like if you want to see what your torque is boosting at your maximum power, virtual cockpit allows that. Man, this car is insane from a performance perspective. I was worried that how do you improve on the original? Really, is that possible? Well, I think Audi has done this with the second generation R8. It is amazing. It's a car you can live with every single day. But when you come to the track like this, it turns you into a race ace. they've done it. Audi have gone and taken what was the ultimate car, the iconic Audi R8 first generation, and surpassed it with a second generation. They've taken all those amazing elements from the first generation and just made them better. They've improved some of the things that maybe weren't that great, like the interior, number one. But for me, what I really love is the exterior styling of the R8. It's very understated, very subtle, very sophisticated. And that for me works a charm. If you look at people in the world, think of the Italians, it's all about passion, they talk with their hands. The Germans, a lot more pragmatic. So that begs the question. You can pick up the all-new Audi R8 for 2.6 million rand. If you go with a Plus, which we in, that's just under 2.9 million. Or of course, you can pay more than double that for passion and for Italian flair with the Huracan. Same underpinning, same performance, same engine. I think it's time to be sensible. It's time to be pragmatic. It's time to be German.